This is the video lecture for Unit 1, Part 1. So Part 1 is the atoms and the periodic table. So what is an atom? Atom is the building blocks of matter and it is the basic unit of a chemical element. So aha managikan ang atom o ngano na ang may atom. So si Democritus, he is a Greek philosopher, proposes the existence of the atom. So what he did is that he pounded materials until he made them into smaller and smaller parts. And the smallest particle that he obtained, he called it atomos, which is the Greek word for indivisible. So next to him is John Dalton. So his theory is that elements are composed of atoms and that all atoms of an element are identical. So meaning, one atom of an element is like all other atoms of the same element. So number three is that in chemical reactions, atoms are not changed into different types of atoms. So atoms are neither created nor destroyed. Number four is that compounds are formed when atoms of element combine. So there are three laws of chemical combination. The first one is the law of constant composition or definite proportion that states the relative kinds and numbers of atoms are constant for a given compound. So a compound always has the same formula. So when you react A with B, you will have a product of C with a formula like this. So again, when in our example 2, when you react times 2 with A or 2 with A and same amount of B but times 2, you will also have a product of same with C but times 2. Next is the law of conservation of mass, and it states that during a chemical reaction, the total mass before reaction is equal to the total mass after reaction. So conservation means something can neither be created nor destroyed. So in our example, sunugon ang kahoy, sunugon na to ang kahoy. So it needs oxygen para masunog ang kahoy. So usually ang ato ara nga makita nga product sa pagsunog sa kahoy is abo, diba? Ashes. But then ingon ni law of conservation of mass, dapat nato siya i-take also the production of carbon dioxide and water. Because conservation means something can neither be created nor destroyed. Last is the law of multiple proportion. So it states that if two elements A and B combine to form more than one compound, the mass of B which combines with the mass of A is a ratio of small whole numbers. So as you can see sa ato ang example, di ba, gataas pod Ca which is N and oxygen and O which is oxygen are B. So gataas siya. So, ang ilaha nga, ang mass pod sa ratio gataas, but in a small whole number. Okay. So, ang atom has a subatomic particle. So, sulod sa atom na ay subatomic particles. And the subatomic particles are namely the proton, which has a positive one, or positive charge, and it can be found inside the nucleus. And then the neutron, which has no charge or neutral, which can also be found in the nucleus. And the electron, which is negative, it can be found outside the nucleus. So, para inyo nga ma-imagine or makita unsay dagway sa atom, so here is an example of an atom. So, makita ninyo, inside the nucleus, naa ang proton, naa ang neutron. Outside the nucleus, naa ang electron. Okay, so again, proton is positive charge, neutron is neutral or zero, electron is negative charge. J.J. Thomson discovered the first subatomic particle, which is the electron. So his experiment uses cathode rays. So sa iyahang experiment on cathode rays, iyahang nakita or na-obtain is that atoms contain negatively charged moto ang electron and positively charged matter. So, iyahang model is like a chocolate chip cookie where the negatively charged, which is the electron, is dispersed or nagbulag-bulag sulod sa spherical nga positively charged. Okay, so mura siyang chocolate chip cookie, maong gitawag sa siya og plum pudding model. So next is si Niels Bohr. So siya nag-discover sa energy levels. Dayon, his theory is that electrons travel around the nucleus in definite paths and fixed distances. So electrons can jump paths from one level in another level. So iyahang model is like a planetary model. So mura siya og Earth nga ga-revolve around the sun. Okay, so kay iyaha man na-discover ang energy levels. Diha daw ga revolve ang or diha daw makita ang electrons. So radioactivity, it is the spontaneous emission of radiation. So there are three types of radiation, the beta, the gamma, and the alpha. So beta radiation is the negatively charged and of low mass radiation. So makita ninyo diri sa picture na ay beam nga gipa sulod sa isa ka plate or sa slits tapos na ay plate diri positive and negative. So ang beta radiation, grabe iyang pag-deflect na there is a large deflection against the positive plate. Therefore, naa siya negative, ilang nakita nga ang beta radiation has negatively charged o naapod siya low mass radiation. Low mass, naapod siya low nga mass because grabe iyahang ako kayo large deflection. So while the gamma radiation, okay, so while the gamma radiation has a neutral radiation, so makita ninyo straight ra siya, relax ra kayo siya. Therefore, also wala sad siya charge, so neutral siya. While the alpha radiation is a positively charged and of high mass radiation. So makita ninyo nga naay negative plate dere tapos naa siya small deflection lang. Gamay lang iyang pag-deflect against the negative plate. Therefore, positively charged siya and high mass sad siya. Okay. So, Ernest Rutherford discovered the nucleus. So, iyahang experiment nagamit siya og gold foil. So, sa iyang experiment, nakita niya nga na ay small, dense, positively charged particles nga present sa nucleus and iyang gitawag og proton. So, si James Chadwick, siya ang nakadiscover sa neutrons. And again, neutrons, iyang theory is that neutrons have no electrical charge. Neutrons have a mass nearly equal to the mass of a proton, and the unit of measurement for subatomic particles is the atomic mass unit. So makita ninyo nga si Thomson, si Rutherford, o si Chadwick, ang ilaha nga discovery or ilaha nga mga theory gapakita that atom is composite and structured. So again, subatomic particles, here are the subatomic particles, the proton, neutron, electron. Proton has positive charge, neutron is neutral, 0, electron is negative. Proton and neutron can be found inside the nucleus and the electron can be found outside the nucleus. So, the masses of these subatomic particles are very small. That is why ilahang nga gigamit is atomic mass unit, which is 1 AMU is equal to 1.66054 times 10 to the negative 24 grams, which is very, very small. Diba? Kay negative 24 man siya. So, therefore, ang mass sa proton is 1.0073, ang neutron is 1.0087, and ang electron is 5.486 times 10 to the negative 4, or equal to 0.00055 AMU. So, makita ninyo diri sa table nga ang proton and neutron has greater mass than the electron. So, mas bugat sila compare sa electron. But then, when we talk about the volume, mas dako og volume or mas dako. So, kaning AMU, mas bugat si proton and neutron. But mas dako og volume si electron compare sa proton and neutron. Why? Because electron can be found outside the nucleus while the proton and neutron naara sila sulod sa nucleus. So the angstrom is a convenient non-SI unit of length used to denote atomic dimensions. Since most atoms have radii around 1 times 10 to the negative 10 meter, we define 1 angstrom is equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 10 meter. So, take note of this. All atoms of a specific element have the same number of protons. So, ang number of protons is always constant. Meaning, dili na siya mag-change. So, this is how you denote an element or a symbol or unsaon pag-write sa element. So, ang A is nasa taas, ang Z ang nasa ubos. X is the element. So, it can be hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, any. So, Z is the atomic number, which is always equal of the number of proton. Again, the number of proton is always constant. Therefore, the atomic number is also constant. So, next is A, or the mass number. So, the mass number is the total number of nucleons, meaning it is the sum of the proton and neutron. Okay, so, while isotopes is an element that have the same Z but different A. So, an example of isotope is hydrogen. So, kita ninyo, di ba, diri tulo ka buok ang hydrogen. So, diri naa siya ay mass number nga 1, kanina siya mass number nga 2, while kanina siya mass number nga 3. So, but same atomic number, meaning kung same sila atomic number, naapod sila same number of protons. So, how many number of neutrons man diri sa 1 lang mass number? Again, proton is constant. So, kung unsa imong atomic number, mao na imong number sa imong proton. So, kung 1 man diri sa taas, therefore, imong proton is also 1. But how many neutrons? So, that is 0. Diri sa deuterium, naa siya mass number nga 2. Therefore, ang imuhang neutron is 1. Kay imong atomic number is 1. And atomic number is always equal to proton. So, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Okay, so, sa tritium, naa siya mass number nga 3. Again, iyang atomic number is 1. So, meaning iyang proton is 1. Therefore, iyang neutron is equal to 2. So, an atom of a specific isotope is called a nuclei. Again, atomic number is always equal to protons. Mass number is the total number of nucleons, meaning the sum of proton and neutron. Isotopes is the same atoms of the same element that have the same atomic number but different mass number. So, meaning, ang isotope, same sila nga element. So, parehas ganiha, puro hydrogen. Ang differ lang sa ilaha is ilaha nga mass number. So, that is isotope. While isobar, so this is isobar. Isobar is atoms of different elements that have the same number of mass number. So, ang isobar is lahi-lahi na nga element. Different element, pero same sila og mass number. Therefore, kung pareha silang mass number, pareha silang number of nucleons. So, ions are the species formed when an atom either loses or gains electron. Okay, for the neutral atoms, meaning neutral, zero charge, wala siya charge, always, again, proton is always equal to the atomic number. So, for neutral atoms, ang number sa electron is also equal to protons. So, makita ninyo diri, unsa man ang ion, unsay itsura sa ion. So, this is an example of an ion. Makita ninyo nga naa siya charge diri nga +2. Diba? While a neutral atom, wala siya i-charge, wala kay makita nga charge. So, for neutral atoms, ang electron is always equal to proton. So, ang given, sa ating example, ang given ang mass number and atomic number. Again, proton is always equal to atomic number. So, ang number of protons is 56. Diba? So, for neutral atoms, ang electron is equal to protons. That is why 56 sad siya. Ang pagkuha sa neutrons, when ang given is ang mass number and atomic number, you should minus lang. I-minus ninyo ang mass number minus atomic number. So that is 81. So for example, ang given, walay mass number. Ang given lang is number of protons and neutrons. So you will just add them and the answer is imuha nga mass number. That is 56 plus 81, that is 137. So for ions, ang number of protons is again equal to the atomic number. So sa ions, ang mag-differ lang is ang electrons. Okay, so ang electrons is equal to the number of protons minus charge of ion. So sa ato nga example, this is the number of protons. May i-minus daw nimo ang charge lang sa imong ion. So that is plus 2. So ma-minusan siya og 2, that will result 54. So ang number of neutrons same lang, mass number minus atomic number. So for additional example, so given ang atomic number and mass number. Okay. Wait lang. So sa atong first nga example, ang atomic number will be 11 and the mass number is 23. So unahon na to ang protons. Again, protons is always equal to the atomic number. So it is also 11. Neutrons is the mass number minus atomic number, which will be 12, which is 12. So pila man ang electron. So makita ninyo, di ba, wala man siya given nga charge. Therefore, 0 ni siya. Therefore, ang electrons is, kung neutral nga atom, kung walay charge, ang number of electrons is same lang sa number of protons. So this is 11. So another example, kanira ang given. Okay? So, pila man ang number of protons? Same raman sa atomic number, so 11. So, pila ang mass number? So, add or sum of the nucleons, which is proton plus neutron, that is 23. So, makita ninyo, ang nag-differ sa ilaha dire is ang number of electrons. Meaning, nakuhaan siya og isa. Diba? 11 og 10. So, nakuhaan siya isa. So, iyahang net charge is plus 1. So, kung nakuhaan siya, plus na siya sa charge. Okay? Kung nakuhaan ng electron, plus na siya sa charge. But pag abot diri, okay, so this is also sodium, Na. Okay, so sa third example na to is kanilang ang given, may charge, protons, and atomic and mass number. So atong atomic number is 35. Okay, same man sila sa protons. But ang atoang mass number is unsaon man pagkuha atong neutrons, diba? Minus lang ang mass number sa protons, and that is 45. So unsaon man ang pagkuha ang number of electrons, diba? Protons minus the charge. So 35 minus negative 1. So double negative, that will make positive. So 35 plus 1, mao na ato ang electron. So that is 36. So para ang element can be presented as symbol, single atom, and atomic number. So ma-identify nato ang isa ka element based sa symbol o sa atomic number, o kabalutang ang element is a single atom. Diba? So based sa atong given nga atomic number, nakuha na nato nga atomic number that is 35 unsa man ni nga element. So kung tanawan ninyo ang periodic table, ang atomic number, ang element nga na atomic number is bromine. Okay? So that ends our discussion or video lecture for part 1.